Hey guys, it's Viewmasters Reactions, and we're back with the Mighty Nine Time, episode 88, Unwanted Reunions. We just finished the meeting with the Martinet, but we're actually in the middle of it. We just asked him, what is the deal with the beacon? When did things start acting weird, or when did things start appearing weird in your realm? When did you realize the beacon was missing? They've just willingly said they'd give us the beacon if we could come up with some sort of deal. We have to negotiate a deal on both sides that make it where both sides get something that they want and we don't have to go to war. He's over here saying wastelands are something nobody wants. In war, everyone kind of loses. There's always a winner, so to speak, but then you have to rebuild. There's too much world to have to worry about all this. So let's negotiate terms. They'll give us the beacon. We're gonna now go see the beacon because we told Ludinus, how do we know your information's correct? We don't want to go tell the Bright Queen something that isn't true. We need to see it with our own eyes. And they agreed to it. Vince has all points bulletin out for him. They said by the end of the day, we expect to have Vince in our possession. And Ludinus is acting like, I can't believe this happened. Let's just jump in because I'm curious to see what is going to happen. And we got 30 minutes left before the break. You guys want to see more of what I do? In the description of every video is a link for Patreon. You'll see the Patreon Hour exclusive for every episode of Campaign 2, Peaky Blinders, Doctor Who, Person of Interest, the new Fiona and Cake, Justified, and Chucky Season 3 all just ended. We started Rick and Morty Season 7. There are hundreds of other movies and shows coming up. Check in the description for the link for Patreon. Full unedited episodes of everything. If not, Campaign 2, Episode 88, Mighty Nine Time.
Honestly, I'm thinking it might have a very direct correlation as to these individuals that you've been recently touting your aggressions against. This Angel of Irons, or Tharizdun. Followers, if you will.
You think so?
That's one possibility.
Because we have found absolutely no cooperation or evidence between those two.
So what are you thinking then?
Tell them.
I think that there are individuals on this side that might have more interest in what the Luxon has to offer, and its heebie-jeebie life-extending magic than maybe you anticipated.
That's very possible. But regardless of whatever reasons it may have found its way here, we are willing and eager to return it to them, if it means bringing this conflict.
He's talking the beacon now. We'll return it to
this
the
artifact
beacon.
came into your possession recently.
Yes.
Yes.
And he's saying he's never seen it. Ludinus has never seen it, but he's gotten confirmed from his people it exists, and they have
previous encounters with the dynasty's knowledge.
In what way?
This is the first time you've encountered this thing you're describing that Ikathon has told you about.
This beacon. Well, we've heard of them. They carry them like religious symbols into battle.
And this is the first.
Look at Talzin's like.
Yes.
Have you ever spent any time in
inside motherfucking check on this?
Make an inside check.
Insight, yeah, Caduceus, I could already see.
Almost want to give myself a spell for this. That's 22.
22, okay.
Alright, we're getting whispers. I could already see in Talzin's face, he was lighting up like, I have questions about this.
Exactly.
And he held in for a bit, and then Travis said it, and he's like, me too.
This whisper, brought to you by Idle Champions of the Forgotten
So I
Realms.
guess Caduceus got it, Travis didn't.
You're talking about
right there.
when the tower was attacked and Zadash.
Yeah.
Total of?
For insight, 28.
28?
28 and a natural 20.
To remind you that
Am I crazy? But didn't Ford say it first? Ford is like
also available on PC and Mac and
I
Steam.
want to roll.
Idle Champions.
I'd have to go back and look. I saw Talzin's face. He wanted to say it a while before everybody else.
That's how I say it.
And I mean, it's no. I mean, it's not a big deal, I guess. But I feel like Ford asked first, and he got nothing. Yeah, look. Now he's like, tell me. I want to know.
Ludinus, this may be quite forward of us. I'm sure you can appreciate the danger of us sort of traversing lines and putting ourselves as the middleman of all this, which we are excited to do.
And I do have my questions on that as well, but continue.
For sure.
Are you about to lay down the 10 demands right now?
No, I was going to say, do we want to have this conversation now, or do we want to find out what your questions are before we?
Let Ford say what he's going to say.
No, please.
Yeah, let them talk first. You always let everyone else do the talking before.
We should really open it up to more of a discussion, please.
You always let them do the talking. What if he's about to say, we're willing to give you $50 million
the Bright Queen,
and the
personally?
world?
From what we heard and was discussed within the chambers of the king, you seem to have traveled to Jorhas and made some sort of arrangement, or at least ingratiated yourselves in some way that she trusted the invoking of your name enough to withdraw her troops from a direct attack on the capital. That is quite an arrangement.
I think perhaps she saw a chance through me to, small as it is, to make amends. I'm not aware if you know this already, although I suspect you do. I was once one of Master Ikathon's students.
So just be honest. Oh.
Inside check.
Make an insight check.
I believe him. I believe him.
No
I think
way.
Caleb just outed himself for no reason.
Fuck.
I believe he really didn't know.
Why? Oh, it's not good. 11.
He's hard to read, like a stone wall.
I feel like Trent would be the
I
type of
believe
guy
he
to
would,
not be talking about things
Seemingly
like
a bit of a
that.
failed experiment. I left his tutelage years ago.
Well, you seem to have done well for yourself since then. Trent can be a prickly individual, and his
Everyone we've
tutelage is
talked
not
to about Trent
right for everyone.
doesn't necessarily say he's
He's a very
bad, but
clever
says
man.
he's difficult, to
And
put
has
it
much to
nicely.
teach. Anyway, to today.
They're more or less saying
To answer your question,
he's got
we've ingratiated ourselves with the Bright
methods,
Queen
but they work.
quite closely.
Yeah, she has a
Trust might
huge
be a-
crush on Ford.
Trust might be a very generous word. I wouldn't use it.
Oh, don't you see it?
We traveled there because our large friend is from there, and we meant to win
I
her
feel
back
like
from
Yasha's
this cult.
shirt is ripping down.
And
her body.
while we were there,
Yasha's so heavy.
we found
She's
ourselves
such a brute barbarian. She's pulling
captured.
her shirt down.
and questioned, and it became known my connection to Master Ikathon and this city. And I am a child of the Empire. So is my friend here. And I wish to see an end to the war. And I think in that moment, fearing for my friends' lives, I saw a chance to make amends between these two nations. And I know that their chance is slim, but I would like to see the assembly and the crown to weave their way towards an end to this conflict. We tried to convince the Bright Queen of the same, and while she was wary and rightly skeptical, she did take a small chance on us.
I mean, he's not lying.
How confident are you that you would be able to reach further this time, to bridge this gap that you seem so interested in
If
doing?
we have the beacon, guaranteed.
Well,
Give
you
us
know,
the
she
beacon.
keeps us at arm's length. She is
Boom
the ruler
goes
of
the dynamite.
a large and powerful place, but we have made connections. They trust us up to a point.
We've already asked her questions on if we got this item back, if it would end the war. We kind of heard all the things you just listed from her perspective. Seems she's also pretty pissed at the years and years and years of conflict between borders and those Empire agents that you mentioned trying to keep the peace over in Jorhas she didn't really take kindly to or see from your perspective, I think.
Well, we didn't take kindly to them infiltrating some of our populace and spreading their religious drivel.
Martinet, both sides are peopled with very intelligent, crafty individuals.
Of course. And those individuals can exist together.
Yeah, I think we've already come to this conclusion.
Delicately
so
arranged balance.
I feel like we should wrap it up.
Mutually assured.
Tell the demands if you want.
Benevolence.
I beseech you, what happened in that temple is a sign of worse things to come. And they are far worse than any grabs for an inch more of power. I hope you hear me.
Make a persuasion check.
I mean, what he's saying is real. And the music's great.
16.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the approach to the Bright Queen? How do you plan to take this to her?
She knows we serve peace.
Yeah.
She's always been comfortable with the fact that we were not really hers. She knows what we want.
Yeah, I feel like we've pretty much
We can certainly make our way
gotten
back there,
all we
but if you
need
have,
for now. Any
means
more
of
talk
travel
is
to and from
unnecessary.
that are quicker.
Just
we
go to the
wouldn't-
Bright Queen
I highly doubt we do.
and handle this.
And the trouble in doing so would probably put somebody not as trusted as yourselves in the line of fire. I think if you've been there as many times as you appear to have, you may have a much better chance at arriving without issue.
Are you trusting us to handle this issue ourselves, the 9 of us?
For the initial discussion, yes.
Martinet, forgive this question. The entrance into this chamber was quite dramatic. I'm assuming our conversation here is protected from outside eyes?
All of it.
Wonderful. I think it'll be a very slow process. I think the offering of a chance at this beacon will provoke some interest with caution. I would then think we would need to secure a neutral location where they don't feel exposed, and neither does the king. But I don't promise any sort of a timeline or a deliverable in any sort of way.
I do not believe it needs to be immediate, but time is of the essence.
Yeah, I was going to say, time
this
is
current
important,
tenuous
but we'll do what we
ceasefire
can.
only lasts as long as the goodwill of your friend Allura's recent warning and perhaps this meeting you're having might allow. That could be days, weeks at most. So whatever you do and decide to do, keep that in mind.
Would something we could bring before we get into other discussions, I'm sure they might be grateful to have whatever intel we've currently collected on this cult and some of its dealings over here so that they could see that this problem is on both sides of the border. That was a
So you know this
difficult
cult has
sticking
had
point.
its own influences on the Johassian side as well.
Very much so.
They were opening up portals over there as well.
Yes.
Then that is very much a good direction to take this
I
conversation.
thought we already had this
Mutual enemies can make
gentleman
for
understanding this.
fast and strange allies.
Both
at certain
sides,
times.
buddy.
Perhaps-
Both sides
perhaps
got
a seal
same
that we could
things
take
happening.
with us, something that shows that we have made contact with the powers that be of the Empire and shows that they are.
That can be provided.
Wonderful.
Do you think in future meetings with you or anyone else
Something's coming up.
that we could have pastries and or
Knew it.
chocolate available?
I was like right away,
Persuasion
Jester is definitely bringing something up that is totally unnecessary.
Ford said he, before you rolled, he did say he was going to assist you, so you get advantage on the roll.
I'm just gonna roll
Come on,
the same
20.
one.
Come on, 20. Come on,
4
20.
assists.
Oh, that's pretty good.
20.
19.
She's very serious.
Truly. You see him kind of taken aback, like, very well.
Pastries.
Good ask.
Thank you, Hardline. So now we get pastries at the next meeting.
That's like 2 of the lines.
That's too bad.
We are definitely going to have a discussion about how this beacon thing got into.
That was one of our asks, one of our 10 demands.
That will be the conversation to have about that, if it really is it.
Then we'll have it at the time. Perhaps after this meeting.
I don't think there's anything else to discuss right now.
Well,
I think we're
I'm
good.
mildly curious. Have you put any thought to such a location of neutrality that might be recommended for this gathering?
Yeah, like before we part ways, do we have an idea of where we're going to go?
I mean, I don't even know
the
if
gentleman's.
You definitely want to.
I want to run it by you first because it's kind of crazy.
Speak up, please.
I think I know what you're thinking. I do too.
The gentleman.
I don't
Am I
at
crazy
all.
for thinking it?
I don't
What are you
know.
thinking?
What are you guys thinking?
What are you thinking?
On the deck of a ship?
Come on, we'll say it at the same time.
We do have a pocket dimension.
In the.
We could do it in the Happy Fun Ball.
No.
It is on another plane.
Now let me hear me
Here's the
out.
happy fun ball.
1 second. Hear me out.
1 second.
Hear me
He
out.
tells
Hear me
Ludinus
out.
1 second. That's
It's
hilarious.
territory we control. It's impossible
Do we
to.
It's good for us, but would
As long as
anybody
we stick
agree
to
to it?
Just
What is
just
the
one
happy
room.
fun ball?
Oh God! And do you want
and
people
there's
knowing
no
this?
outside influence. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but now all
I'm
these people are
thinking
going to know
it.
about
An
this
arcade
ball.
item that carries some interplanar space within it. It's
Extra dimensional.
Yeah, I don't
There's
even
a
think we
dining
should be
room.
telling them
Don't
about
worry
this.
about it. I think there are easier ways.
I'm still putting it out there.
The item is it's far away.
This
and
dude
we
is going to be
can't-
like, "What is this item?"
It's not the greatest idea because it's dangerous.
What
Of
about
course, it's dangerous.
what about if we had it on a volcano?
She's not. This is actually a better plan than she's selling it.
Every expression, whenever a jester speaks up, is a look of bewilderment and confusion, and generally the only time in this meeting you've seen him thrown off is...
Yeah, Jester is
every
just
reaction is...
confusing. To
There's an
everybody.
island.
Don't
There's a
worry.
volcano island that's neutral territory, not controlled by either dynasty or empire. We wouldn't be on a volcano like in the middle of the hot part of it, right? We'd be down.
I honestly don't know.
Seems like a weird
I was
idea.
gonna say, why don't we just go on our boat?
Yes,
What about on a boat?
the Menagerie Coast
To the
is
middle of
We can go on the
International
boat.
sea,
I was
international
thinking the
waters.
We
gentleman.
have to
We
stay away
could
from
go
the
to.
pirate
I
island.
mean, we don't want to
Stay on my
involve
Let's go to
family
Dark
and friends,
Toll.
but
Let
if
him
we're
host
going
it.
on the boat,
It'll be
I can send a
amazing.
We were
message.
told not to come back to Dark Toe, or
Yeah.
else we would be.
What if I send a message to the planking?
You've recommended
20 places.
a volcano and Dark Toe.
And a
Or the
happy
Savalier wood.
And the happy fun
very
ball
fun
that he
ball.
doesn't even understand,
What about-
which might be a
Yeah,
horrible
those are
thing
three
to
extremely
tell this
dangerous
kind of guy about.
locations you've offered already.
Yes, you both have to come very well prepared to defend yourselves, neither having an advantage in any of the three
Maybe we should
spaces.
talk to Laura. Maybe she
Yeah,
should have a
maybe-
good idea.
do you know
about
anyone
where
on
we
the
could-
Tal'dorei Council? Because we could, besides Allura, because we could have it there.
Do you
as
know
well.
what the Tal'dorei Council is? Because people keep saying that to me, and I've got no idea what it is.
I know of it, but I have not had any specific
If
dealings
you
with them
want to-
besides this Allura Visorin.
To have a little bit more of an advantage, of course, the Rock Guard garrison sort of borders between both spaces, yes?
It does, but it is entirely... both garrisons, as of recently, are now back under our control. I wouldn't consider that neutral
How would
territory.
you feel about
contested.
traveling to the Menagerie Coast?
I'm all right with that. We'll see if they are.
Everyone at the
The lavish chateau. I was gonna. That's why I said.
And then my mom could sing to them.
I literally was gonna say,
That
would
feels
we want to involve her mother?
dangerous.
Yeah,
I
that
don't think
seems
we want
really
anything
dangerous because
personal.
then we're involving her mother. But that's what I was thinking, either the gentleman's or Ruby's.
Think of
Or the boat. They said the boat.
Oh.
The boat
Random
sounds like the best
people.
idea, honestly.
boat.
We own a.
I feel
we
the
own
boat,
a
like,
nice
it
boat.
would be
It's
so
a nice
cool to
boat.
have
It's
it
a
at the
pirate
lavish
boat that we
chateau.
inherited.
What's it
that we
called?
stole.
But it's too dangerous for
Ball eater?
Jester's mom. The ball eater.
Long story.
It seems like the boat is the best angle.
Used
It's
to be called the
on
Squall
a neutral
Eater.
territory. It's
But
on
we changed it.
the water.
Immediately it looks
So
to
we're not
Jester.
even on ground. There's
just
nothing
changed it.
around us. Unless we double cross them with our
see.
own boat. But I mean, hey,
I'm
you gotta take a chance
beginning
on
to
someone.
understand quite clearly who I'm working with.
Oh, but don't get the wrong impression. We're super capable.
We've endeared
Oh,
ourselves
I,
to two
in no way, shape, or form,
international
had assumed
leaders.
otherwise.
Perhaps a few miles outside the city of Nicodranas on the Menagerie Coast. Away from prying eyes.
That seems viable.
On
Yeah,
the ocean.
and then we could visit
on the
mom.
boat.
There are
Go
a
on the
few
boat,
options
on
I was
the
also
ocean.
considering.
Oh, yes, tell us yours.
Outside of Nicodranas may work well. The Menagerie Coast is more neutral territory
Neutral waters.
and away from any of the current places of existing conflict. Boat or ship would also bring us to neutral territory, though depending on the size of the forces that would be coming to the negotiation, I do not know if it would be able to keep it, as I assume both the king and the Bright Queen would be keen on bringing some form of sizable defense in case things were to go awry.
Oh, it sounds like something good. What if they both leave their territories and then the Chained Oblivion attacks at the same time?
Well, they're not going to leave. I mean, they can leave some people behind.
But the point of doing this on neutral territory was to not have a display of military force.
Of course. But you do realize that they're not going to go completely unprotected either.
They don't have to go completely unprotected, but I think a very
people,
select
yeah.
number of people is wise when
Yeah,
having a
very
peace
select.
treaty conversation.
Have like 5 to 10
Talking
people
about
each
having
tops.
King Dwendal and the Bright Queen meet somewhere.
Are we?
Are you?
Yes, yeah, I think that's where we are.
Yeah.
Or are we just talking about representatives?
I'm under the
Why would the
impression we're
king
trying to
wish
get the
to-
king.
Expose himself like that. Instead of staying here in the seat of power.
No, I'm just saying, whatever situation of negotiation you present, there's going to be some sort of a force that's going to want to protect whoever's making this negotiation. Whoever shows up to this negotiation, well, that depends on
Whoever
how
it is
goes
going to be
and
someone
what
of
seems to
high
be best
standing.
for the arrangements
So
you've
there's
arranged.
going to be guards and something, like 5,
If you
10
are thinking
people
it,
each.
I
It
don't
doesn't
think we're
surprise
going
me.
to have an
Anything's
easy
like
time
that.
to coax the Bright Queen herself
Messengers are
to
sent with
visit
people.
anywhere. You are going to be dealing with intermediaries.
You can also do the Ashgard garrison, you know, if you don't want to go to
See,
the boat.
Caleb isn't talking crazy.
The Ashgard
He's
garrison
assuming
is
there's no way the
reasonably
queen is going to
location
do
of
that and
quite
put
a bit
herself
of
out in the open.
and
But what
perhaps
if it
would be
means ending the war?
sore
Maybe you have to
spot.
do things like that.
Based on the bloodshed lost on both sides. I think these recommendations are fine.
Honestly, it's
Whichever
another
ones
one
you
of
feel
those things
strongly
we
about
won't
and
know
they seem
till
to be
we do it.
receptive
So
to,
let's just
follow through with
chalk it
them.
up to, we'll see.
I think Iso Cross may be a bit too cold.
It's one of those things like there's too many what ifs right now.
So,
We need to talk to the
I think
queen.
that'll
We haven't talked to the Bright Queen in
Take
a
us where we
while.
need to be.
It will also, of course, depend on feedback from the dynasty, but we will certainly float those at the top of the list.
All right.
No.
Oh, I see you said float. Never mind. Carry on.
Should we go see this beacony thing then?
Yes.
All right.
I just wanted to say also, as part of this arrangement that we are crafting together, know, as I can tell and sense, there is quite a bit of tension and mistrust here, especially with some of the histories that may have come along with you into my chambers, as a token to show my interest in seeing this done properly
What are we about to get?
and with a mutual respect. You are aware that your friend here has been responsible for quite a
Yasha?
unfortunate incident since Ash.
That's a perspective.
Yeah, we totally fucking skipped that part of the crap.
Well-
She wasn't under her own control, you know.
I trust that may be the case. However, the
I didn't even
investigation
think of that.
by the archivers at Ash has come to Rexentrim in the night, and they have not yet made the connection.
Oh.
I have taken the liberty of obfuscating this individual's involvement,
Look at this. So he just totally helped
for the
us
time being-
big time.
and perhaps for the foreseeable future, you should be fine.
Wow. Thank you for.
Why would he put
Doing that,
himself
you
on the
didn't
line like
need to
that,
do
though?
that,
Is he
thank you.
that good a guy? Or now I almost don't trust him. Because why would a stranger like
side
him,
of
unless
the
he really just believed in us that much?
What's become of it?
I'm a worried.
Of the city itself?
Of the temple beneath.
The Chantry. There's been a heavy amount of investigation over the evening, acquiring what remnants of the individual that you slew, known as Oban, I believe it was.
The punished.
Unbeknownst to really any of us, the shackle beneath the chantry is intact. So, and some of the research that has come up regarding this from the Cobalt Soul, and I believe some of which was spoken upon your arrival, the other shackles still remain a mystery and unfound, which is safe.
All right.
Refresh me one more time. Who did you say was leading the investigation? You mentioned it earlier.
I don't know who specifically it was, but it's just the archive of Zadash was.
And the Cerberus, is that what you said earlier?
No, they've just arrived for the night.
Who did you say? You said research was happening. Marisha, the DM question.
Yes.
Did you say Ogden? Was Ogden something you said?
May have been a miscommunication.
Marisha was trying to catch him in a lie or something.
Insight check.
Insight check, yeah. Ogden.
But
I vaguely do remember
the threat
that.
and the extent of it is being researched.
What was that
Nobody
about?
wants a.
Marisha's like, I take good
of
notes.
Thursday
She was trying to
to
catch
begin
him in a
feeling.
lie or catch him off guard, or maybe just refresh herself for real.
That does not bode well for anyone. And we are looking into it. We are seeking out the details of who has been involved and rounding them up to be judged and punished appropriately.
We found a lot of people involved.
Well, it seemed the ones locally were largely handled by you lot and a member of our righteous brand and the Cobalt Soul upon arrival. But if what they've done spans the globe, this is information that needs to be pursued. So we are also reaching out and sending missives to other countries and other governments to at least follow these same signs. And thankfully, it looks like their involvement is relatively small, and that's how they were able to work unnoticed for so long. Any larger, they probably would have seen signs a lot sooner.
I know your investigation is into this particular shackle. Would it be too much to ask that perhaps whoever's involved try and put some thought into where the other shackles might be based upon what you find in there?
Certainly.
Defending those positions or preventing them from discovery would, I think, go a long way.
I've reached out to Vasselheim. They would probably be the individuals having the most information. But it hasn't been but a day since the occurrences, and responses can be delayed.
If you send a message, you can get an immediate response. It's short,
That
but
is what I generally do.
Oh,
But there's a bit of bureaucracy, and to be honest, a historical lack of
Jester.
generosity and exuberance from the line of kings. So Vasselheim needs to warm up to these revelations from the Empire before they'll be forthcoming.
right.
And of course, the less anyone knows about the whereabouts of these shackles, probably the safer they are.
Certainly.
Insight check.
Insight.
insight
Oh,
check.
damn. I was going to say, I'm like, somebody's got to question something soon.
23.
I still.
More
whispers.
We're getting lots of whispers, and none of us have shared any of it because we really haven't been in a situation where we
get more
could.
information.
We haven't really been in a position where we could be like, "Yo, this is
If you
what
were
the
a
guy just said to
fan
me."
of Stand Up Santa, just ask for him back, and he'll come.
Is that something that I missed?
Stand
And I
up,
And you should
flagged?
be happy that you did.
Yeah. Your expression would have been like the one on Sam's shirt.
Yeah.
Which one?
You gotta
That
pick one.
is-
All of them. Oh,
That's the happiest I ever was.
Look at his face.
Well,
Ridiculous.
I guess we will make our way to confirm the beacon, if you are
Are we
ready.
gonna go see Trent? Ikitan.
Well, he's the one who's currently preparing it for transport, I imagine so. If that is challenging, you may stay behind if you wish.
Look at
Mr.
Laura's
Rivas.
face. Icky thon.
DM.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about a family matter. Can you repeat what you just said?
Noted. He's basically saying if you aren't currently tied up at the moment, we'll go and see the beacon now.
Okay.
She inquired if Trent will be there, and he said most likely as he's preparing the beacon.
That's
but
important information.
yeah,
Yes.
but then asked you if you're
Very
comfortable or
important
not. And if not,
information.
you may stay behind.
Liam's like,
No,
this
no.
is clearly involving me. All right, so we're going to see the beacon, and Trent's
All right.
going to be there.
Well then,
And we might end it soon.
he stands up, sets his tea down, which is finished.
We have about 5 minutes left, maybe.
Do we just follow you then? Do we just follow you?
Well, I'll take him. I just need to inform him of our arrival. Yeah,
Him.
it's polite to let them know when you're coming first.
I need to be better about that. I need to be better about that.
Boy, if we've learned anything,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Makes a a familiar hand gesture, but that's more subtle and more. It's like a quickened version of the sending spell. It's second nature. To which he's arriving to inspect the relic and confirm for our negotiating team that it is indeed ready to be presented to the dynasty. Shall we?
Yes.
All right.
What are you doing?
I thought something was going to happen,
okay.
but
Begins
apparently we're
to
good.
take his hands and encircle them, leaving this kind of faint trail of light blue-white as he begins to encircle it and draw lines, and the center points begins to slowly expand, almost like a rippling ring of water, until it encompasses your entire circled group of chairs.
Are you going to transport the chairs too?
No, you might wish to stand.
Oh, I'll stand.
And he continues and finishes the incantation.
I grab my tail to make sure it's in the circle.
All right. And that familiar rush hits you as suddenly you are transported out of the tower, pulled away into what seems like darkness, into light that stretches and smears and then thrusts you back into reality. You all come to your feet.
Love it.
It is
Like traveling
midday,
through the
though it
Rainbow
is still
Road or
shaded.
something.
It is, you find yourself under a bunch of trees in a small clearing, a dense forest. You look before you and you can see what looks to be a mountain range that climbs up in the sky. It's still clouded, overcast day. Trees, climb up the side of the mountains. And before you, you see what looks to be a unique-looking number of buildings. There are these tall, kind of pieces of Gothic architecture. Some 3 or 4 stories, some towers, a very tall wrought iron fence that surrounds the entire locale. And there are guards posted.
Investigations
You
going on.
recognize this place. Welcome to the Vergessen Sanatorium. Follow me, please.
Oh, fuck.
Do I know this place?
And that's where we're going to take a break.
The Vergessen Sanatorium.
Oh, that's where they said it when it was crazy. Oh no! This is better than Halloween.
We have a
That's
Roma
where
giveaway.
it is. Okay, I'm
Right
like
here
this.
for lunch, we
That
have our
goes
black
way
poison
back. I don't
with
think
dice
we've mentioned
balls.
that place in
She's all sorts of
forever.
pretty.
For one lucky winner in the chat, tonight's code name is Diplomacy. Indeed. So go ahead and put the word
I'm very
diplomacy
curious
once
to talk.
into the chat room to enter.
Matt's gotta say
More than
goodnight.
once, you'll be disqualified, and once again, only for people in the U.S. and Canada, excluding Quebec, because stupid laws. But we'll return here shortly to continue the story. See you in a minute.
Blow me.
All right, everybody, that is it for Mighty Nine Time, episode 88. We're here at the Vergessen Sanatorium. This is where Caleb went when he was driven insane by Trent Ickathon. So Trent Ickathon is going to be here. We've all taken the ride to go see the beacon. He seems on the level. We tried to check him for slip-ups here and there. It didn't seem like he did. It seems like he's possibly on the level. He's given us pretty much everything we want, but he is asking for things in return and saying, I'm not promising anything. We're still going to have to, at that time, talk to bigger, higher up people, or at least a bigger room of people. Then at the very end, he tells us, by the way, and I didn't even think of this. He's like, Yasha is part of the reason all of this shit happened, and you guys stopped it, yes, and you did a great thing, but she was part of it, and even if she was under their control, this is still something that needs to be investigated. You can't just have us take your word for it and be like, yeah, don't worry, this person didn't mean to, and now they're on our side, and we're also going to go take this beacon that you guys have and bring it to the Bright Queen. I mean, there is so much insanity dealing with higher level people, but we do have the respect of these people because we have reputations, we have clout, we know all these people, and these people vouch for us. People gotta believe us to a certain point. Ormid Haas knows us. Trent knew his real name, so Trent even called him out. Then we have Alora saying, hey, what's up, how you guys doing? We have Yusa, we have the Bright Queen. We are very well-known people. So at a point, you do have to give us some respect, and we are always right, even though, like this guy said, like, I see what kind of people you are. And Jester's like, well, don't judge us based on that. He's like, no, by all means, I understand how you get things done. I just see what kind of people you are. You're like very chaotic type wacky people. And those are the kind of people that I guess get things done in this kind of world because you're going off the script, not by the book all the time. So either way, loving what's going on. We'll finish this one up in the live stream. The Patreon hour exclusive for this and all the other episodes are up on Patreon in full unedited. Peaky Blinders, Doctor Who, Person of Interest, Vox Machina season 1 and 2, Justified, Fiona and Cake, and Chucky season 3 all just ended, and Rick and Morty season 7's going on right now amongst hundreds of other movies and shows. Check in the description for the link for Patreon. If not, comments down below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.